Hackidu is a pretty brilliant episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. It's maybe not the funniest, but it felt very nostalgic for me, and I imagine it will for a lot of people. This is the 17th episode of the 4th season of Everybody Loves Raymond. It's directed by Mackenzie, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the events in the episode and share some thoughts. And it starts off down at the school with a parents' event, and Ray is trying to help out another parent, and this parent, Bill, his child comes along, Tyler, a little boy, and he'd just done a trading card trade with Ali. And Ali gave all of her cards for this one card. And immediately, I knew why. I imagine a lot of people would know why. It's because that one card was a lot rarer than the other cards. Having a load of swapsies is absolutely very common to trade for one rare card. Not that they were Ali's swapsies, but she got rid of all of her cards for this one. And Ray doesn't understand. He thinks this is not a fair trade. You can't trade that many cards for one. So he makes Ali give the card back, and she gets her cards back. And later that night, at home, Ali tells Debra, and Ray tries to tell Debra it's not fair. And Debra had an interesting position here, because Debra didn't understand why either. She didn't understand the value of this rare card. But she said it doesn't matter. They were Ali's cards, and if Ali wanted to do that trade, she should have been allowed to. Because either she had a reason, or I guess she'd learned the hard way that ultimately it wouldn't have been fair had it not been fair. And I like that. I like the fact that Debra doesn't necessarily understand the trading cards, but she still realised that they were Ali's, and it's up to Ali what she does with them, which I thought was a really nice, very supportive stance to have. And Frank's there, and he tells Ray that Ali won't get over this. Ray thought that Ali would, and Frank said, no, it's like your Batman cards. And Frank recalled the time when Ray would collect Batman cards and how much they meant to him, and we have a little anecdote here. And then Marie comes over to ask Frank to clean his whiskers out of the sink, and she hears about this trading card. And I love this, because she starts to talk about this Scranosaur and how much it's worth and what it means to Ali, and everybody just looks at her as if to say, how do you know this? And she just says, I'm Grandma. I have this and candy, which I absolutely loved. I thought that was it was such a lovely moment to think of Marie listening to Ali, paying attention to her likes and interests. It's how every parent and grandparent should be, of course, and it was a really lovely moment. And Ray realises that maybe he needs to go and get this card back. So he goes to talk with Bill Parker, Tyler's father, and it doesn't work. It doesn't go according to plan. So Ray tries to tell Ali that it's just a card. He knows it's worth money. And then Ali says something. It was like a gut punch. You could see the sudden change in Ray's emotions. And Ali explained she didn't want it because it was valuable. She wanted it because this Scranosaur was her favourite Hackidu character. And that is so heartbreaking. And I have to say, that's also very relatable whenever I had things that I was collecting. I very loosely collected Pokemon cards. I never really learned how to play them. But I would collect Doctor Who Battles in Time cards. Oh my goodness, the memories. And absolutely, the ones I wanted the most were my favourites, not necessarily because they were rare, but because I loved the characters. So what Ali is saying there is making absolute perfect sense. And Ray realises that he has essentially ruined his daughter's probably one chance at getting this card with her favourite character. So Robert tells him that Amy's brother owns a comic book store, and he'll probably have a copy of the card. So Ray goes down, and we get the character of Russell. He's actually played by Paul Reubens. Later on, we meet Amy's brother again. He has a different name, and he's played by somebody else. And it's generally believed that he's the same person, like a version of the same character, if you like. And obviously, they dropped Paul Reubens for obvious reasons. And the scene in the comic book store, initially I liked. I loved the environment. It's a kind of environment I love to be in. But I think it went on a little bit longer than it needed to. But it ended abruptly, and I love it, because he has the card, and it took a very long time for Ray to get it. And he finally agrees to sell him this card after Ray's bought some comic books. And the scene ends with Russell saying $289.50. And that's how it ends. And it was just abrupt, but it was very effective and very well done. And ultimately showing that it's just a transaction. And Ray goes home. He's happy with the purchase, of course. And he gives Ali the card. And immediately she folds it in half to put it in her pocket. Which obviously, Ali being a child, she doesn't understand the value. She doesn't know that maybe one day that card could be worth even more and it needs to be in pristine condition. But I'm also of the mind that if children are playing with trading cards, they should be allowed to play with them. They're not designed to be kept in mint condition. I mean, some would argue that maybe they are designed and things like trading cards are actually aimed at older people with money who want to buy them all to have the complete set to eventually make a profit on them. It wouldn't surprise me if actually those people are the primary audience for trading cards and other highly valuable collectibles, and not the children who are meant to be playing with them, or adults who are meant to be playing with them. But either way, I don't think Ali did anything wrong by folding up that little card and putting it in her pocket, but Ray's response was brilliant. And she got her favourite character, so everybody's happy. It's a really fun episode. As I said, it's maybe not the funniest. I didn't really laugh that much, but I still really enjoyed it. Just the whole concept really spoke to me, took me straight back to my childhood, and kind of makes me wish I paid more attention to Pokemon cards. I did have Pokemon cards. I collected the stickers. I had the sticker book. This would have been in about 99, maybe? 98, 99? I googled it. It's the 1999 Merlin Pokemon sticker book. And just looking at the pictures, it's so beautifully nostalgic. I absolutely love it. And this episode just made me feel fuzzy with nostalgia all the way throughout. And honestly, if I was a multi-billionaire, I would probably be tempted to collect trading cards of some sort today. The reason I don't is because I have problems with not going overboard, and if I bought one, I'd want to buy them all. So I don't give into that anymore because I can't control myself. But if I had unlimited money or self-control to some extent, I would completely collect some kind of cards today. And needless to say, I thought that while it's not the funniest episode, Hackidu is still a pretty delightful episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. I don't think I have any personal highlights. I think just the episode as a whole. Well, I guess the environment at the comic book store, Marie obviously taking an interest in Ali's activities, and the moment Ali folded the card up because it was brilliant. Hackidu is a really solid, very enjoyable episode of Everybody Loves Raymond.